والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. Let me begin by extending a warm welcome to all of us here this morning. I particularly have the honor of welcoming Honorable Ibrahim Usman Wambankefi, who is here to represent His Highness the Emir of Kefi, and other members on the high table who have already been adequately introduced are all well known to us. So, gentlemen, you are all welcome. As already expressed by the Master of Ceremony, I'm sitting in for the chairman of the Abuja Muslim Forum, Alhaji Mahmud Ahmed, who is away to Saudi Arabia for Lesser Hajj. Alhaji may be away to Saudi Arabia for Lesser Hajj in physical and spiritual form, but I assure you that part of his spirit is here with us. He regretted bitterly that this occasion coincides with the date he would be away for the Lesser Hajj. It would have been a program or an event which he would have very much loved to be physically present, share and express views and opinions with other members of the forum. So, on behalf of Alhaji Ayala Ahmed and on my personal behalf, I congratulate all the executive members of the Abuja Muslim Forum, and I also wish to add that anybody who may have reason one way or the other to be associated with the Abuja Muslim Forum in whatever way, I extend a similar vote of thanks and pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward your efforts abundantly. I felt it is very important for us and for the benefit of those who are probably appearing here for the first time to know what this body is all about. It is very important. And so please bear with me to make this expression very clearly. Abuja Muslim Forum is a non-governmental association of individuals who voluntarily came together to make a contribution in their own way to uplift the religion of Islam, to promote brotherhood and sisterhood, and to also contribute in resolving some of the problems that the Islamic Ummah of Nigeria, and particularly of the FCT, is facing at the moment. So, when a group of people come together to exchange ideas, Idris, please. When a group of people come together voluntarily to exchange ideas, whatever kind of idea, that grouping together is what is described as a forum. So a forum can be simply a group of people coming together to discuss issues. Now, in this particular context, in this particular case, this forum is a group of people coming together voluntarily to discuss Islam without any distinction, without any bias, without any need for reward except Allah's reward. So that is what Abuja Muslim Forum is. It is an association that has been in existence for the past 30 or 32 years and has been doing quite a lot, silently and openly, to promote the objectives of their association. When I was asked to take this role of representing the chairman, the first thing that came to my mind is to know the extent to which Abuja Muslim Forum, which had been working for the past 32 years, been able to accomplish. It is only when we know what they have been able to accomplish, then we should begin to appreciate, and then we should be able to become motivated to assist, and then we should be able to promote similar other commitments in other places. So I extended a request to the executives of this organization to present to me a catalog of all what they considered as their basic accomplishments. In other words, their successes over the past 32 years. In addition, I asked them to let me know how they found it, easy or difficult, and to discuss also in outlining their constraints, what was their bottlenecks in this period of their endeavor. I would like to discuss this with a view to let you know how far the Abuja Muslim Forum has gone, and at the same time to draw your attention to the need to assist in those areas which are considered constraints, for them to be able to surmount these constraints in their future undertakings. Abuja Muslim Forum had successfully developed a strategic implementation framework for the Muslim Ummah with particular reference to the FCT. Secondly, they were able to validate membership of their organization through physical visitation and through linkages on online media platforms. They organized monthly ta'aleem. Ta'aleem is a lesson that is organized whereby Muslim scholars are invited to discuss certain issues that are considered very critical and very important for people to generally understand, appreciate, and see where Islam stands regarding those issues. So they organized ta'aleem and they organized tafsir during Ramadan time. With the assistance of our sisters, some of whom are very well known to us, people like Alhaji Maryam Dada, they co-opted other organizations such as the Federation of Muslim Women Association of Nigeria and others in promoting these kinds of training in other areas. They also participated in weekly live television and radio broadcasts on what they call Faith Clinic on human rights, radio and television. And they have been doing that consistently for 4 years. They have also been organizing conferences to cement the relationship among different strata of the FCT Ummah. Somebody may ask, what does this strata stand for? You see, we have different organizations. I don't like to use the word sect, but there are different organizations that are formed primarily for the promotion of Islamic activities, and they assume different names. There is Abuja Muslim Forum, which we are now celebrating today. There is Form 1. There is a Muslim Student Society. There is Muslim Youth in Da'wah. There are so many of them, and they are all aiming at doing one thing or the other to make their contributions in promoting the religion of Islam and in upholding it. So they do that with other sister organizations in order to establish a synergy. And they were also able to support vulnerable and indigent Muslims through distribution of welfare packages, especially during the trying periods of the COVID-19, when life became very difficult. They raised money by requesting for special donations from able-bodied men and women, and they distributed these monies and other material to those that were in need. And they also were able to acquire a parcel of land from the Federal Capital Territory with the intention of one day putting up their permanent secretariat. And they also go into collaboration and alliance with other strategic organizations and stakeholders within and beyond the FCT. And they also champion the participation of member organizations in matters like election, which is usually held every 4 years. And they hold workshops on state basis level to educate other members of the Muslim Ummah in other parts of the states. And they conduct periodic visits to organizations and to some places like prison, like hospitals, and grant them some relief by way of extending some palliatives and by way of also praying for them. And they have been able to successfully maintain this tempo over the past 32 years. You can see in brief that this is the accomplishment of the Abuja Muslim Forum. Now, what have they faced as challenges in this period of time under reference? One of their greatest headache is that they lack a convenient place where they can operate, in other words, a secretariat. And they also discover that there is always a gap in the mentoring and the monitoring of those who spearhead the activities of the forum, in other words, the executives. The executives, in this case, need to be trained on what they are supposed to do, and they need to work very cooperatively, and they discover that this is lacking. And there is also, according to them, low sense of belonging from members and personal individuals, which they consider as detrimental or capable of tearing the forum apart. Well, it has not gone to the extent, but it has the capacity to tear the forum apart if it is allowed to continue. And there is lack of viable income. In other words, there is lack of money, lack of fund. And without money, there is no way any organization can succeed. I told you this is a voluntary organization built on cooperation. And without cooperation, there cannot be a forum. And without money, there cannot be an effective cooperation. How do you move? How do you buy what you want to buy? How do you disseminate information? How do you buy airtime? How do you buy this and that? This is all question of money. You need this money, and this money has to come from us, the members of the Muslim Ummah, and also from those who may have reason to donate. There is also low attendance of members at programs and activities. This low attendance probably is attributed to poor communication. This poor communication is attributed to lack of drive on the parts of those who are responsible for communicating the information for whatever activity the forum intends to hold. So these are, in brief, the successes and the constraints of the Abuja Muslim Forum in the last 32 years. Now, let me conclude my opening remark. I'm sorry I have taken a little long, but I consider this very important. We are all working in answer or in response to Allah's call through the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Forum is a group of people coming together to discuss issues, in this case particularly Islamic issues. It's a cooperation. So where is the injunction? Why is the Islamic injunction here? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. Help you one another unto righteousness and pious duty. وَتَعَاوَنُوا. At-ta'awun means helping one another, cooperation. So you help one another into any act of righteousness and into any duty that Allah loves. Do not help one another into anything that Allah dislikes or anything that leads to aggression. Any form of aggression leads to fighting. Any form of fighting leads to enmity. Any form of enmity leads to separation. And always Islam is trying to bring people together under one umbrella and strongly bind them with love for the sake of Allah. So this is the injunction. This is the injunction. If anybody wants a basis for why people come together to help, this is the basis. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا is another injunction. وَاعْتَصِمُوا, come together and hold tightly to the rope of Allah. وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, do not become divided. This group goes there, that person goes there, that no. Come together, work together cooperatively for the purpose of promoting this great religion. So this is the basis for this forum. This is their accomplishment, which I have described in brief, and that is their constraints. My conclusion is, please, those of us who have connection with people who really are able in terms of wealth should contact them to contribute. This contribution can come in different forms. It can come in free gifts, it can come in sadaqah, it can come in zakat. If you take part of your annual zakat, which is compulsory, and give it to Abuja Muslim Forum, Jaiz, it falls under the 8th category of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has directed to be given out to zakat, wa fi sabilillah. Any form of activity that is aimed at promoting Islam is fi sabilillah. So you can ask people to give part of their zakat. You can go out of your way and advocate this. Allah will reward you, even if you don't have any penny to give to the forum. Once you are able to make contact with people and people hear you, respond and make contribution, Allah will reward you abundantly. So with these brief remarks, I now welcome you and hand over the microphone to the organizers to continue with other aspects of the program as presented. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.